Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Super Tired Editing Joe from the future. Uh, just one quick thing before we get into the podcast. There was an issue with the switcher in the cameras, so any references to camera switching, it didn't work. So the whole video is going to be shot from the wide angle. It was a part user error. I should have fixed it beforehand, but I didn't notice until afterwards. So there's no camera switches. Also, I guess another quick note, I generally don't like editing these podcasts. I want to make sure that they're raw and unedited footage and there's no like cuts or anything like that. I'm not taking anybody's words out of context or anything like that. However, because we both took a bathroom break in this episode, that part is cut out because it's literally just me ranting for a few minutes. It's stupid. So I cut my own stuff out. I did not cut Flip stuff out. It's actually both funny and informative. So hopefully you enjoy that little bit. But that's it. And let's get on to the podcast. Do I just do a rolling start?
Do you say something?
Yeah, actually, we talked about this.
Yes. Hello. I'm Flip.
He is Flip.
This is Joe.
Hello. Oh, hold on. We got Hey, here it is.
That's Joe. And we're sponsored tonight by Sam Adams
And Yeti Cups.
And Yeti Cups also. So cheers. Yeah.
As I drink tea.
That's fine. It's probably better for you.
Maybe. Might be.
Maybe.
I'm pretty stoked to have you on.
Thanks.
Because you as you said before we went live, you have opinions. And I like people with opinions.
I do have a few,
yeah. We purposefully, I guess, you wanted to start going blind, which is fine. I like doing that sometimes too. But I had another guest on, most recent guest, I think, where we got into basically where does the line start, or where is the line when it comes to art and its message or its influence? Like, is it the job of some entity, or people will say the government, to like put a line there for like, hey, maybe we don't make a game that's super violent, or maybe we don't make a song that's like got super violent themes or super sexual themes or things of that nature. Mm-hmm. We kind of left it open because neither of us really had an answer, and we may still not have an answer either, which is fine. But I think it's worth talking about.
So I might have a hot take on this.
Okay,
I do actually have a formulated opinion on this.
Okay,
because for example, like one of my favorite games is GTA.
I love GTA.
Played all the way through the series, and one of my favorite games growing up was Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Okay.
Which is literally
just
steal cars, race them illegally, and run away from the cops. So like, and that was me at 10 years old.
Yeah. Starting off strong.
And I turned out great.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think that it's like, honestly, I think like even considering violence, mm-hmm. like even like literally killing cops in a mm-hmm. game, I think that all of that is sort of an outlet, I think that people that hold sentiments that would lead them to actually perform like an act of violence mm-hmm. in real life wouldn't be influenced by a game because they already have that sentiment. Like a person, so take my case for example.
Sure.
Like, I will say this on national television. Personally, yeah. I don't like cops very much.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which
I think I fall somewhere in the passive thing where I'm like, there's some good, there's some bad, like,
but just as like as like as a wash. Yeah. And if the thought in my mind like is I would like to shoot a cop,
okay,
per se. Turns out I can do that in GTA
legally
and not hurt anybody. Yeah. And then after I've run over like 75,000 of them with a With a semi, I'm like, all right, my desire for murder is sated. I'm going to go and take a bath and everything's fine, right? But never do I think to myself, all right, it's time.
This was not enough.
This isn't enough. I need blood on my hands. I need to be actually violent. I need to take this into real life. No, like, first of all, I don't have enough money for a gun. Second of all, like, why even go through the effort of like orchestrating such a thing?
Like something like gun people never talk about.
Maniacal, like. So I think that there's definitely like a separation between the physical and like the art form, I guess, if you'd like to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a game that would be considered promoting violence or promoting violence.
I referenced Hatred.
Yeah,
was the name of the game before. It was on, I think it was out on everything, and then it got pulled from everything.
Yeah, I mean, people are sensitive or whatever. Yeah. But I think there's definitely a strong divide between the two parties. I think that people that actually want to be violent, people that actually have that intention, will do so regardless of whether or not the games exist. And I also think that if there's someone that feels that way and has that other option, that other outlet, it may actually be beneficial.
Sure. Like, I agree with you for the most part. There's like, I guess there's the dilemma of what if you run across that person where that isn't enough? This is me kind of taking devil's advocate side here. I don't like. I'm very securely in the camp of people like games don't cause violence.
We're gamers.
That doesn't happen.
We're not
I play a lot of games. I'm not gonna obviously. It's gonna be biased because I stream all the time.
We're
like,
gamers.
Sure, but like I'm not. Games don't cause violence.
We kill people.
Yeah.
We kill animals. Sometimes we kill gods. No,
you just never know.
And then it becomes a religious thing. You're like, oh my god, we're killing deities and shit. It's like, where will the gamers stop? Really?
Like, there's I forget what country this was, and I think I brought this up on the other one too. Where you remember Modern Warfare 2? You remember Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2?
I'm aware of it.
There was a game. There was a level where. Great, like, storytelling device. I think they did a good job.
Was it the airport one?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, that game, the entirety of the game was, if you owned a copy of it in certain countries, it was illegal. Like, you could not own it. You should. Well, the government did not want you to own it. I think it was specifically Russia, or I don't know.
I think it was Russia.
Because the whole thing was no Russian. Yeah. Like, it portrayed Russians as like terrorists, so I get it.
Yeah.
But also, like,
there's only two bad guys in movies and games. It's either Germans or Russians, and for whatever reason, those two groups of people have been demonized. And
there was that one series that had North Korea.
Might have something to do with World War II, but
no, I don't. What do you mean?
I wasn't around for it. I didn't see any of that.
I love that. But yeah, like so their government obviously saw an issue with that, whether it was the fact that it was depicting their country in a bad light, or if it was actually the acts that they were doing, which they literally I opted to play through that level, and it's basically you go into an airport, the whole no Russian thing. Why is the name is the dude who's the bad guy literally turns around to you and goes, "Hey, no Russian." He doesn't want anybody to speak Russian, and because he wants to blackmail you. Because you're American and he knows that you're a spy. He knows you're a double agent. So he's like, all right, cool. I'm going to kill you, leave you here. They're going to think the Americans did it. And then all these people will be upset at America. So you go through the airport and you mow down a bunch of innocent people. Like it's pretty bad. But when you have people like, I'll say some names that might not be great here. When you have people like Trump and Biden who are like, hey, video games, they're bad. They make people look at this, and then they pull up a trailer of Call of Duty. They always use that, by the way. Well, every single time they use that scene from a game that came out in 2011 or 12 or something like that. Yeah, that's what they use.
If I may make
an aside, go for it.
I just want to point out that Trump also thinks that windmills cause cancer.
Yeah,
so, maybe
these people are not the smartest people in the world. Like
margin of error, possibly.
So I'm clearly in the camp of like, hey. That right there, if you saw that on a movie screen, we wouldn't be saying, hey, let's tear down all of the cinemas. Like that's not what.
So I actually watched a movie recently that had some elements of that nature, and it was 6 Underground.
Okay.
It wasn't as extreme, like it wasn't just straight up killing people, but like a lot of civilians were definitely in harm's way. There was a scene where just a lobby full of people that had nothing to do with the situation were subjected to laughing gas.
Oh, cool.
And, were like retching and dying on the ground as they seized.
Wow.
A little crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then, they just blow up like 15 buildings and there's just like pillars and girders falling onto traffic. And you're like, wow. That's insane. And Ryan Reynolds is just cackling, as he does.
Yeah.
But then,
big fan of Ryan Reynolds.
We've seen that a lot, and it's a Michael Bay movie. And Michael Bay definitely likes to just obliterate everything for no reason.
So we just did a shit on Transformers 5 podcast.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you want to go for round 2?
No.
I'll pop off.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Anything past Transformers 1 is questionable at best.
Dude, we talked about this all last night, but I'm totally fine talking about it again. There's
you have material. Go for it.
Yeah. There's a scene where a adult man gets a sword, and parries
Optimus Prime, a 100-ton giant alien robot. And he's just like, no. Also, it's Excalibur.
Yeah.
If that
it's
wasn't
just
enough,
surprise.
it's Excalibur.
I was just like, what we doing here? Like, what is this movie?
Yeah, like I understand that for like sci-fi movies, there's an element of like suspension of disbelief.
Sure,
you see some things explode, some people get shot at 400 times, and every shot misses, and you're like, oh well, plot armor.
Yeah. Physics, though?
However,
what about that?
The laws of physics.
Can we keep that though? No. Okay. All right. Guess we're just going with it. I
think it's the cop out of magic. I think it's alien magic.
Yeah. I was telling the guys, it was Corey, Steven, and myself. Steven's idea. He subjected us to that.
I've talked to Steven about Transformers and Star Wars and Iron Man, and
I guess
it's very interesting for two contrarians to have a discussion about anything.
Yeah. I guess to bridge that together too.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like things like what is that movie? Ocean's 8 and like Ghostbusters and like stuff like that. Like that. So to me, I say, sure, if you want to make a movie, make a movie. I don't care. But also I think there is something unfortunate about when you try to like, I don't know, like sex swap roles, like for the sake of doing them. Like if you want to put like women in a movie and you want to have a movie all about women, go nuts. I don't care. Who cares? But if you want to do that, make it good. Like don't try to like don't just be like, hey, but what if we just took them out and replaced them with them? Like why? We don't need a why. Just do it. And it's just like, but no one asked for this. Do it. And it's like, but so because I guess that falls into lines of like social politics and people being concerned about
It's like it's like representation and whatnot. But if I may bring up my favorite female representation, it's the Bionicles movie, Bionicles Mask of Light.
Okay.
And it's because
I forgot about Bionicles. Dude, that was
national treasure.
Dude, when I was a kid, that was my life. I used to play all the Flash games online. Like I would buy the little figures. I forgot about that. Go ahead, sorry.
So the reason I bring up Bionicles is because like they're robots, I think.
Something like that. Organic robots, basically.
Something to that effect. And the reason that I like it the most, and I'm sure there are other examples of this, but the reason that I like it a lot for female representation is that they're just robots, and then one of them like speaks, and you're like, oh, that's a woman, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like
they're all equally capable,
right?
Like elemental, like demigod robots. Like, it doesn't matter. And then one, like Golly, the blue one, is just like, I'm a woman, and we're like, oh, okay,
yeah, like,
and it's fine. But I think when it's forced, I think like especially in the Ghostbusters movie, it's just like we're gonna scrap the entire cast. We're gonna put in Melissa McCarthy, our token lady actor. Here we go, and it's
everyone's just like, wait, what?
There was just a universal groan.
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh god, what the fuck?
Right, cool.
And and to be completely honest, like, I have not seen that movie.
Neither have I.
And and it was almost exclusively because of that.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't hate women. I don't hate women.
No one hates women.
Nobody here hates women. It's just, it kind of feels like they're jumping the shark in tandem with the fact that they are like pushing this agenda. And I do appreciate female representation. I love it when the lead is a female. One of my favorite Disney movies is Mulan. And this is
happy about that live action.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
I hope so.
I'm gonna be in that theater, and there better be the original soundtrack. I swear to God.
I listened to that trailer and I was just like, where's the like 3 minutes in, I was like, oh, I know what this is.
Yeah.
But they're not telling me what it is. I know what this is.
They kind of like, it was like a little vague.
Yeah.
But I liked that.
Yeah. And then like the ending of it was like, oh, here we go.
It's Mulan. Yeah. We're going to get down to business and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But like Mulan is a whole thing about like, oh, it's a woman. She has to pretend to be a man to like join an army, and it's this whole thing about like a girl's journey.
Sure. And
at no point while you're watching the movie do you think to yourself, wow, this could have been a guy, but they forced a girl on us.
Well, I definitely don't think that the story would make any sense as a guy. Like,
exactly.
And those are the cool stories that I like.
Those are the cool stories.
Yeah, like it's like when I'm not saying that every story that involves a lead woman actress should be something that is unique to being a woman. I don't think that necessarily has to be it. But I think that those stories tend to do better because even as a guy, you learn something. Like you take something from that. And I guess as a woman, you probably see a reflection of maybe how society is or whatnot. And like and that's
and you get your representation.
Sure.
And you can see yourself in a movie.
Right. Like I guess I'm a little weird when it comes to representation. It's not that I don't like it or I don't want it. It's more of like, it's like when the one and only time I've ever cosplayed anything was Terry from Batman Beyond. It was when I was in South Carolina. I was in college and my friends wanted to go to a convention. I was like, yeah, sure. And then I quickly realized, I was like, oh, there's like no black, like anything in any, well,
name 5 Hispanic superheroes. Name 5 Hispanic superheroes. Go, 5.
Blue Beetle, fucking the alternate universe Superman, that's it. That's all I got. Actually, hold on. Beast Boy, I think, is just sketchy. I don't know. And Cheetah.
I think Cheetah is.
It's not a superhero though. Yeah, it's a villain.
Yeah. Close enough. Yeah.
I think I'll come up with the fourth one.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. My quick go to, I guess, for like black is like you got what's that guy dude literally named Black Lightning or something like that?
Yes. His name's literally Black
Lightning, and then Green Lantern,
Cyborg, of course. You got Steel.
I have no idea.
Shaquille O'Neal was Steel.
Oh yes, okay, all right. I remember now.
Insane,
Yeah,
like everybody freaks out. Michael Jordan was in Space Jam. Yeah, but Shaquille O'Neal was a superhero with a giant hammer. Lest we forget.
Growing up and when I had that moment, it wasn't that I was like, oh, I this is a bad thing. It was just more like, oh, well, what are the characters that I like that I can cosplay? I didn't see it as like a negative thing that there weren't any black superheroes that I cared about. And then I was like, oh wait, Terry has a full suit on in Batman Beyond. I'll just do that. That's easy. Like I remember thinking about doing that for the second. I wish I had it better. I think
I'm about to just pop this off with my teeth.
Oh no.
Should I break my teeth on camera?
Please don't do that.
I got dental insurance now.
Hey.
Woo! All right. But yeah, no, I think it's all subjective in my opinion. Like, so I've cosplayed a couple things. The first thing that I ever cosplayed was L. And
That's
to be
nice.
completely honest with you, I have watched 0% of Death Note. And I only cosplayed L because I Googled easy cosplay and I was like, wow.
T-shirt, pants.
Long white tee, jeans, no shoes. I didn't have to wear shoes.
I was like, that's me. Like that's
I'm in. Sign me up. And so last year when I went to MegaCon, I actually did cosplay 2 things. I cosplayed. We're bringing up the gender bend thing again. I cosplayed gender bend Wanda, because I had a yellow shirt.
Wanda.
From Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh wow! Okay, awesome.
Because I had the pink hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I got a yellow shirt, so
easy.
Send it. And then I made a wand out of some construction paper and a pencil. It's fine. Everybody loved it.
I think. Good.
Yeah. The other thing, I actually gender bent twice. The other cosplay that I did was a gender bent punk Sakura.
Okay.
So we're just super far and away from what I am physically. I just didn't even care at that point. I was like, pink hair, check. Red shirt with a circle on it, check.
Easy.
And that's it. That's all you need. You get the headband and you're good to go.
Oh man.
Done.
I think I've had too many unfortunate interactions with cosplayers, and for whatever reason, that point in my life where I was just like, yeah, what if this was cool? I just stopped doing it, and now I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm good. I appreciate it, especially when people put a lot of work into it. Like, it's cool. I think there's a really interesting spectrum with cosplay where it's like, there's this side where people put hours of work. They've made this stuff from scratch, and I'm just like, that's really cool. And then there's the other, everyone in between kind of is like, this is kind of a little cringy. But when you get to the end where it's you got, you're supposed to be Goku and you found a orange t-shirt and you just kind of colored some blue on the top of it, and you have a roll, a brown paper, roll of paper towel. That's supposed to be your extending stick or whatever.
Right.
I love that. That's my favorite. I love shitty cosplay, the least amount of effort.
So that's exactly what I did.
Okay,
I
love it.
But and it goes full circle, right? And then the best part is that you show up as Goku.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You've got your little cloud. You've got your stick, and you're just walking around as Goku, and people come up to you and they're like, "Oh my god, is that a Goku cosplay?" And you're like, "I'm Sun Wukong."
Just troll shit. Just get really upset, and you're just like, "Fuck you." And you just go on about your day.
Sun Wukong.
Oh man,
that's all Goku is. Goku is Sun Wukong and Superman, somewhere in between.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly it was funny. I was watching this video about it. It was basically One Punch Man, but in the Dragon Ball universe, and how that would ruin every story. And they were just they were they would introduce a villain, and he just happened to be there, and he's like, oh, okay, boom.
So all right, so okay. I want to continue talking about cosplay
sure.
and conventions and stuff like that.
This is okay. We're flying all over places. We'll get back to it.
Real quick. One of my pet peeves actually is inserting One Punch Man into anything that is not the One Punch Man universe. Because he's written to kill anything with one punch. So to argue that he wouldn't
doesn't make sense. The whole premise of the show,
he's One Punch Man.
The premise of the show is it's supposed to be a parody of every other shonen thing. All these oh, you gotta train super hard, and Goku died. Oh my god, he got strong. They take a shit on all of that. It's just I'm gonna do everything in one punch. And what I think is really cool about that show in particular is I think there's some underlying meta stuff that's kind of cool, where sure, he's able to beat everybody in one punch, but he's still miserable. And there's some people point to how he distanced himself from people. He doesn't do a good job of making friends and whatnot. It's almost if you spend all this time perfecting this one thing, it's a bad character creation slider. You cap out in one stat, but now you suck at everything.
The way. Charisma zero.
Which is interesting. I like that concept. I wish they would make episodes faster, but
yeah. I mean, well, so I think One Punch Man ultimately is the sort of antithesis to stuff like Dragon Ball Z.
Sure, yeah.
Where, a fight where they hit each other maybe 4 times spans maybe an entire season. And One Punch Man is just fights over in 2 seconds. Yeah. And you're like, oh, cool. I saw everything I needed to see. Yeah. They run around a little bit. He screams, he punches the dude, and that's it. And
he gets hit like a couple times, doesn't do anything to him. And then,
there's transformations.
Yes.
He'll like run around. He'd be like, oh, I'll just let you do your thing. That Beetle guy. Oh, Beetle 2, Electric Boogaloo. And he gets crazy. He's like, oh, I'm really going to kill you this time. And then
he's like, oh man, I forgot the sale. But I don't know. Do you think there would be an uproar of people if there you go, season 3,
gender bend?
They gender bent Saitama in that?
Yeah.
You think people would be like, what the fuck, man? Rage. I think you know what? It's probably a stupid question because it all boils down to how they do it, right? Like if they could figure out some creative way to do that, but still keep the soul of the show, it'd be fine, right?
I'm just rolling through my brain trying to find any reason why they would.
I don't know why they would ever do that.
I don't know. There's why they would do that. But I can guarantee you there would be an uproar if they made a One Punch Man video game where you get to just detonate civilians with your fist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And people would be like, wow, this is promoting violence.
It's just because it's in the thing doesn't mean that it's promoting it. I remember there's a YouTuber, I guess that's what she does. Her name is Anita Scarsazian or something like that.
Cartesian?
Something like that. She's got an I, A, and an N in her name.
Sure,
Anita
Sarkeesian.
Sarkeesian. There it is. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in one of her videos, she was like, Hitman is the most sexist game. You get points for killing strippers.
First of all, it's called Hitman.
Yeah. And I was just like,
why not hit person? Be inclusive.
Yeah. You say that, I think she actually said something like that in the video. I genuinely think she did. But even though, although I will say I don't know if it was Absolution, one of the more recent ones, the story was leaning towards having this little girl who basically was a clone of him, of Agent. Yeah, but they did it a great way. They did it a way no one could possibly be upset. I was just like, oh, you built this story. You've built this character. You didn't just throw her in there. She has a point to being there. Oh, she has all these skills. How does she have all these skills? Oh, you explain that too. Cool. What I hate is when it's just hey, this person's in there. We need to get that quota. We got to do it. Disney told us to, or some company told us to. I know enough people have harped on Star Wars and whatnot, and Rey. I think that movie has many problems, but I think the problem is not that. The problem is not that Rey is a woman. That has nothing to do with it. The story is.
Want to talk about Star Wars?
We can talk about Star Wars. Let's get into Star Wars.
Hey, before we get into Star Wars, I just want to say real quick. Speaking of that sort of clone thing, that element, the sort of sci-fi, I suppose beyond our time. There's a character in a show called Altered Carbon on Netflix. Altered Carbon is to the effect of Blade Runner, a la Total Recall. It's very cyberpunk, very tech-noir. And the entire gimmick is that people can insert their mind, their soul or whatever, as a microchip into any body, and it's like a skin suit essentially. And there's a moment where there was a man who thought his wife had died, found out that her microchip or whatever was being kept in a data bank, as a prison, a virtual prison. Okay. They bust her out and they put her in another. They're called sleeves. Sleeves. Yeah. So they put her in another sleeve, but the sleeve is that of a male, like a man. And so it's very interesting to see the portrayal of a feminine mind in a man. And the husband accepts her, no questions asked. They kiss, they're intimate, and she remains in that body until the series ends, and they rescue their daughter together and everything, and it's never an issue.
Interesting.
You know, and I think that's very interesting because it feels like the feminine or female representation is always a little bit forced sometimes. I won't say always, but a little bit.
Sometimes I get where
it feels forced.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was kind of reversed, where it's just like you have to accept the fact that it is a female mind in a male body. And so, you know, who's to say any one of these mask-presenting characters could be a female mentally. Could be femme in any way. And I find that kind of interesting. But,
that's interesting. I've had a couple people say, "Hey, you need to watch Altered Carbon."
It's very good. I recommend it.
Yeah, I think you are the fifth person that's talking.
Are you keeping count?
Yes, it's. I should just watch the show. We talked about this. I don't have time. I do need to make more time. To do stuff like that.
People say make time. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Like there's stuff that I don't have to
hourglass?
Do. Like maybe I take too long of. Like maybe I sleep for too long. Maybe I should wake up earlier. Like I don't know. Like I there's a lot of stuff that I do throughout the day that I'm just like, yeah, maybe I don't play Apex Legends right now. Like maybe I do something else. But then I find myself if I don't do that and I start focusing on like just like these recordings and editing and whatnot, and then I'm like, I feel miserable. I need to do something that like is fun, like that I don't have to worry about creating anything. I need to just like kind of tune out for a second and do stuff.
I've heard that watching television
instead of playing Apex Legends
fun.
Is Altered Carbon better than Apex Legends? That's
I would argue yes, because there's no point where you can blame someone else for your displeasure. You're watching the show, it's a lot of fun, you're like, wow, these people are doing crazy shit. This lady has a robot arm, and you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. But at no point are you just like, wow, my teammates suck.
My teammates are trash. They're actual garbage.
Yeah, you can't lose.
That's fair.
You can't lose.
I haven't watched The Witcher yet. I need to watch that.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't watched.
That's fair.
A lot of stuff.
And we've trailed completely.
Oh yeah. We've gotten completely away from what we were talking about initially.
And we were making a transition.
We were.
And now it's gone.
I don't remember what the transition was. I'm gonna be honest with you.
So, anyways, violence in video games.
Yeah, violence in video games are pretty bad.
I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Honestly, like if they made like a Saw simulator where you just get to torture people, just like rip their limbs off, like pull teeth, literally.
It'd be fun. In GTA.
It'd be fun. I mean, we got Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah,
you know, that's a thing.
Yeah, I think
it's not inherently malicious. But
sure, you definitely can make it.
You have the option to tear a person's heart out.
I think the disconnect for people that think like games can cause that kind of stuff is the fact that in a movie you are passively a part of it. Like you don't have to do anything. You're just watching it. But in a video game, they make you pull the trigger, or at least fair. Like you're taking the action to do it. So then they try to correlate that to, oh, you did it once, you'll do it again in the real world for some reason. They don't ever stop to think like, okay, so what's the difference between the two? And if that's the case, in this huge industry where everyone's buying video games, why are we not in chaos right now? Like, if what you're saying is true, then like I should most likely be dead right now. Like some dude should be like, yeah, I stole your car and like threw a Molotov cocktail. I'm just like, oh yeah, dude, you're right.
All right,
you did
that's
it, man.
where we're at
that's
now.
where we're at now.
I mean, we have what are those movies called? The Purge.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Totally fine.
That's fine.
No problem. They did stop that one TV show that was basically like that. It was like basically rich people hunting down poor people. Yeah. I don't remember what the TV show was called, but it was supposed to be on Netflix. And then like people were like, no. And then Netflix was like, sorry, we'll not air it. Yeah. But I think they were still making it, but they were finding a new home for it. I hope it does come out. It sounded like an interesting concept for a show.
I think, you know, everyone has a degree of impression. I think everyone is a bit impressionable.
Yeah, sure.
Some more than others.
That's why there's ratings on things.
That's why Trump's president.
Yeah.
I literally before I came here, I was like, I'm not going to be political. Here we are.
No, it's fine.
But
no, I
think there's definitely a very wide margin between intention and influence. I think that if someone wants to do something, they will do it. And I think that influence only goes so far. And I think that mental health also has a lot to do with it.
Sure.
I don't think that just any sane person picks up a Halo game and is just like, well, I'm going to space and killing aliens.
It's like, can I get a gun that looks like this?
Yeah,
yes?
You know
all
what I
right,
mean?
cool.
Like, there's, and there's also like a large element of reality to it. I think people definitely have a conscience. I think everyone has a conscience. Sure. And any sane, reasonable person can play a game like GTA where you can do literally anything and then turn it off and exist in the real world without doing those things. And I think that the people that end up doing things like what you would do in GTA are a product of circumstance. I think that a lot of people are in situations where they end up being involved in that. Like, you don't accidentally join a gang. You know what I mean? Like, you don't accidentally rob a store. It's not like you don't like stumble and fall into crime. It's one thing leads to another. Like, oh, your mom's got hospital bills. You got fired. And you're not getting unemployment checks, and you're like, well,
and this dude told me he'd give me $1,000.
I'm living in the ghetto. Somebody walks up and you're just like, hey man, you seem pretty fit for X, Y, and Z, and it just kind of like it's sort of like a domino effect, and it's never just you go to GameStop, you buy a game, you play it for 20 minutes, and you're like,
your brain expands.
I'm buying a gun. I'm buying a gun, and it's never that. It's never that. I can't think of any time in recent history where like a mass shooter has said, oh yeah, I did it because video game, and I just don't think that that's real.
There was that one guy, but I
also think that if they do say that, it's sort of to like just stir the pot,
right? And that's what because it's the same guy that said that
it's defensible.
Well, he was like, yeah, also subscribe to PewDiePie and like all this stuff.
Exactly.
Like it was
so
just
it's
like
all just
it's
like
like all right, man. And like I see what you're trying to do here. I guess then where do you have that same opinion when it comes to like sexuality in games too?
Oh, yeah,
like because I've
maxed out every single stripper in GTA. Like my Sims woohoo often. It's it's life. It's whatever.
Yeah,
okay. To garner an opinion from anyone regarding like sexuality and stuff like that, I think
sexual content.
Sexual content
is what I meant.
Sexual content, sexuality, that kind of thing. I'm extremely indifferent to it. I'm very casual about things like that. I'm totally fine with nudity and things of that nature. I've definitely had several people just completely strip at my parties, and it's fine.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah, it's fine. So to see it in a video game, I'm very indifferent, but that's a very biased opinion. So I think for the general public, obviously those games should be rated mature. Should be.
You would probably not want a child to play something.
Definitely
like that,
don't want a child to max out all the strippers.
Sure, that's probably not a good thing.
Probably not a good thing, but here we are.
I think my big issue with it is the fact that games that just show a little bit of anything, I think this is changing now, but at least for the most part into the beginning of the 2000s, you couldn't do that. Like if you look at all the Mass Effect games, they're like barely like they imply certain things, but like it's not very. And I remember even those, like when those came out, people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they have sex in that game. That's crazy."
Two people?
An
having
alien?
Sex?
A blue alien? Like, so
Can I just say real quick, I like the fact that as a female character, you can also hook up with the alien. That's very important.
I really like the fact that not everyone can be hooked up with, depending on, like, especially in the Dragon Age games. Right. There was like Dragon Age, and I don't know if you played the new Outer Worlds. It's basically
no, I haven't, but
it's really good. Yeah. You can scum the system, and you like me, and you can just buy the Xbox Game Pass, download the game, play the game, and then cancel the Game Pass. That is something you can do. Or you can be like me and just forget to cancel it and just still pay for it and not use the service at all. They got me. They definitely got me. But there are characters in that game and in Mass Effect and in Dragon Age where it's like, no, they have their own like sexuality. Like you can't just be like, hey, but I flirted with them enough and got their bar up. Why are they not sucking my dick? I don't understand. And then they're like, well, I'm gay. Like it's like I don't want to. And you're like, but I hit the button. Like I did your relationship is maxed out on the bar. Why is there no sex scene? I'm being a little bit more
no sexy time.
Yeah, but I like that. I like that the characters have their own like thing, and it's not just related to you hitting X enough times. But I guess that's a reference to God of War. I haven't played that game forever. I forgot about that. But yeah, what frustrates me, I guess, with that is the fact that it seems like you can get away with so much more in terms of violence than you can with sex in games.
Oh yeah,
and it drives me nuts. I hate that.
Something as a point of reference, recently. So I assume you watch anime. Yeah. You're aware of Elfenlied?
No.
No. All right. Well, literally, the opening scene of Elfenlied is a naked woman with a helmet.
Okay.
Walking through a hallway.
Okay.
Dismembering people telekinetically.
Okay. This is good.
Yeah, and it is egregiously violent, and there's blood everywhere. It's just absolutely ridiculous, completely over the top.
Okay.
And I was scrolling through Facebook recently, and I saw a GIF from that anime, and
thank you for saying GIF. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's not GIF. If you say GIF, please seek help.
I'm in that camp as well.
Oh man. Graphical, like what was it? Graphic interchange format. That's just, okay. So I saw a GIF, right? Yep. And it's from Elfenlied, and it's a scene of the character decapitating a girl, violently twisting her head off, like a bottle cap, and blood everywhere, ridiculous. And then it pans over, and the naked woman is standing there, and the breasts are censored.
Really?
And I think to myself, really? What is the world that we live in where someone being brutally decapitated is fine? Nipples? No go.
Can't have that.
Can't have that. Nipples are illegal. Ban nipples.
That's funny. Holy
nipples
shit.
are illegal 2020.
I kind of want to watch that now just to see that
it's insane.
scene.
It's insane. Like I just think it's totally ridiculous that we have to censor nipples.
You know what I just realized though?
Everyone has nipples. Everyone has nipples.
Wasn't there like a... Nah, that's a stupid movie. But
decapitation's fine.
There was a... God, what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought.
That's fine.
Anyway, it's funny that you say that, and I remember now. I don't think it's necessarily because they're hypocrites. I think it's... well, I guess it is. But it occurred to me that it's anime, and Japan is weird for whatever reason.
Oh, so it was not a censor like by the anime itself.
Oh,
the anime is just full bear. Yeah.
All right. It was just the service that it was on.
Whoever made the GIF.
Oh wow.
Put like
it was
like angry emojis over the nips, which it's fine, I guess. But
it's on Facebook. You said?
Yeah. So, Zuckerberg, if you're out there, if you can hear me.
The Zuck.
Fuck you.
I love that meme where people are giving people the Zuck.
I've been banned for ridiculous things. I was recently banned on Facebook.
Really?
For 24 hours.
Okay.
Because I posted a status that said, boys are stinky.
That's it?
That's it. That's all I said. It said, boys are stinky. I got banned for 24 hours. Hate speech was the reason.
Boys are stinky. Like,
and it was tested. Multiple people did it, and they all got banned for 24 hours. which is completely insane to me.
I wonder. Wow. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that is a bot that's just programmed to be like blank R is the trigger that like kicks the bot on,
Right.
and then if the word that follows it is negative, it insta bans. Because I think any rational person who read that would go, "Oh well, like this is not serious."
That's like a middle school thing.
Yeah, it's like this is not
that's something a 12-year-old girl would say. Like,
but
who cares?
Did you tune into like any of the Twitter nonsense that was going on where like people were just getting banned left and right for all kinds of different like hateful speech or political like speak or whatnot?
I mean, that's completely unsurprising, but I actually have actively not used Twitter because it just seems to me like
it's probably for the better. You're probably better off not doing that.
Just a hellscape.
Well,
you know, full of people with opinions that disagree with other people's opinions, and then they just fight.
That's just...
And also, the president is consistently on Twitter, which is very concerning, to say the least.
On one hand, I go, okay, sure. If it is... Hopefully what comes from this is that whoever takes office afterwards goes, hey, you know what? Maybe using social media is not the worst thing in the world, but also maybe I shouldn't be the person who has immediate access to it to post at any time of the night, whatever I'm thinking, whether I'm inebriated, who knows? Like if I'm the president of the United States, maybe there should be checks and balances for what I'm going to say on Twitter. But
so you're saying the leader of the executive branch of government should not have free reign on their like political output. Like,
so that's the weird thing too, though, is because that's also technically free speech. It's just like,
I mean, it boils down to Trump at 3 a.m. on his toilet, on his gold encrusted, diamond rimmed fucking toilet. He's sitting there on his phone. Thanks, Kanye. And it's just like, what is happening? What dimension are we in?
That kind of stuff, I kind of go like, this is wild, but also like, sure.
Do you believe in the Mandela effect?
I don't know if I would believe in it. I do think it's an interesting thought.
It's an interesting thought, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the world ended in 2012, and we're currently in purgatory because there's no fucking way that this is all real. Like, there's no way. It's insane.
I just there's so many things that with that, I guess the Mandela effect, I've seen them like, I know that God, what's that guy's name? It's not Shaq, it's the other dude that did Shazam, I think was the movie. Not Shazam, was Shaq, right? No, Shazam, that's the thing. So Shazam, what was that guy's name? Damn it. I'm looking this up now. There's a dude that there's a Mandela effect thing.
So you're thinking of the Genie movie, right? In which case that was Shaq, and it was, I believe, Kazam.
Kazam was Shaq.
I think it was Kazam.
God, this is so annoying.
This would be the.
I wish. That's exactly what this is for.
Yeah, this would be it. We fact check. That's okay.
There's another actor. I think he died pretty recently. He played the role. He was a genie, but everyone says that the show didn't exist, and it's driving me nuts. Man, I'm looking this up. I'm sorry. I cut this out if we need to.
That's fine. I'm here. Should I hum some music? Should I do the Jeopardy theme?
Okay, I'm giving up now because I looked up Mandela Genie, and
that's fine. Mandela Genie.
Yeah, and
that's got to be like just a clusterfuck of results.
It's like some cream from some Lion brand yarn, maybe. Actually, it's not cream; it's a yarn. I give up now.
How did you confuse cream with yarn?
That looks like a thing that's like a container that has I was like, that's actually yarn. Okay, all right, we're done now. I don't know. I think that it's an interesting thing as to how so many people come to the same conclusion for something that actually didn't happen.
My mom's calling me.
Okay, we can pause if you need.
It's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right.
Respect your mom, but
Yeah.
also priorities.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I was going somewhere and I've lost it.
I'm like approaching enlightenment over here.
Yeah.
The strength of my opinions is increasing exponentially.
Where were we?
I don't know, something political.
Oh.
Should we talk about Girl Scouts?
Sure.
Yeah. We'll talk about Girl Scouts.
I love their cookies.
Yeah.
But I also don't like the fact.
All right. What if, hypothetically, there's an 8-year-old trans girl.
Okay.
And she wants to join the Girl Scouts.
Sure.
Or, fuck it. A boy wants to join the Girl Scouts.
Sure.
Who's to say that they can't? Where, where do we...
The organization
Where do we figure it out? Like, what...
I'm not applying like my own personal morals to what their decision is, but it's their call, right? Like if you have a thing, you decide who gets to have the thing. It's yours. So like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, you're not allowed to not let this person, like I'm forcing you to have this person join or partake in your thing. I'm like, I'm not going to force you to do that. I may have opinions on it, but it's still yours. Like, I'm not. Yeah. So that's my camp.
So we have an 8-year-old boy with a vagina.
Okay.
Does that allow him to sell cookies? Is that the pass, or what? How does that work? What do you think?
So you have
what do you think makes sense for Girl Scouts?
Me personally, I would say
they have to be a girl.
I would like for there to maybe just be a third Scouts group.
Scouts.
Sure.
Sure. I'm an avid proponent of just Scouts.
Sure. If you want to do that, that's fine. But I don't want to force someone to do something they don't want to do. And that applies to an organization who, in my opinion, they're not necessarily doing anything wrong. They're just doing something their own way. Right. So like, if they want to say, well, we only want biological girls in this organization, sure, I may have my opinions on that, but I'm not going to say, no, you have to sure, that's what you want to do. That's fine. And what will ultimately I think will happen if something like just the Scouts became a thing, it probably would be more popular than both the Girl and Boy Scouts. Yeah. That's probably what would happen. Yeah. So, honestly.
And it would be more inclusive.
Right. And I think that's the way to do something like that. Give people options. Don't force them to do anything. Right. Just give them options, and where people stand is where they will go. Like where they want to, what their beliefs will follow, or the numbers will follow what people genuinely believe in. So that's I was a part of the Boy Scouts when I was younger. Were you? Did you know?
So I had the option to either do Boy Scouts or Taekwondo, and
you picked the right option if you take Taekwondo.
I did.
Yeah, that's the right. You did the right thing. Yeah.
I did. I really looked at it like this. I was like, so either I get to sit in a dark forest swarmed by mosquitoes, or I can punch other children, and it's fine,
and everyone's cool with
it. And everyone's fine with it.
I don't get in trouble.
The parents are cheering. It's great. They're taking video. I'm roundhouse kicking their kid in the head. It's great. Who cares?
They're clapping.
It's a sport.
Yeah, I love MMA too. Like, I don't know.
We can go on a tangent with that in a minute.
Sure. In all the years that I grew up in Boy Scouts, there was never a moment where I was like, it sure is weird that there's no girls here. Like, in my head, it was just like, I was like, okay, well, I'm a boy, and this whole organization is built around boys. It's in the name. Sure. Like, everyone here will most likely look somewhat like me. Like, I was like, okay, that's what we signed up for, so we're here now. I don't like the concept of people forcing them to let girls join the Boy Scouts. I think that's
It doesn't really make any sense.
I don't like that. I don't like it. People want to do it, sure, go for it. I'll still like appreciate you as a person. I'm gonna respect you as a person, but like I don't think that's helping anyone.
So, so I don't know how controversial this is, but like I think at a certain point, if it's Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and a girl joins Boy Scouts and a boy joins Girl Scouts,
it's just Scouts at that point.
Like, why even bother separating them at this point? Like, if people want to, do the other thing, like, why even separate them?
That's why I think my suggestion would be that there's
just go with
third.
Scouts.
My thing is though, I think there's stuff that is important growing up as both. Mainly from a boy's perspective, because that's the only perspective I have really. But I think there's an argument to be made that there's benefits for socializing boys amongst other boys so that they understand how that dynamic works. I do think that there's benefits to socializing boys and young men around women and girls too. I think that both are important. But when you don't do either of them, there's something that you lose. Like, whether it's something that's good to lose, we don't know yet, because that social experiment hasn't happened yet. But it seems to me that the things from my life, so my interaction with the Boy Scouts growing up was mostly it was just all boys. I went to summer camp and stuff, and then there it was boys and girls, and like you get these social like interactions as a kid, and I think that ultimately that's a good thing. I'm a little on the fence about deleting any of those. I don't think that that's a great idea. I think all of them need to exist. I would be down for something that's just the Scouts. The question is who's going to make that? Who's going to put in the work and like organize a group like that? So I think someone should.
I think it's just a matter of time.
Sure, honestly. I think it will happen eventually. Yeah. Like, but yeah, that's I guess my stance on that. I don't know. What was the thing that you said you wanted to? Oh, MMA.
Yeah.
I'm curious. What, you don't like MMA?
Oh no, I love it.
Okay, all right,
cool.
Yeah.
I did MMA for like 3 years.
Yeah. I did not do it for that long. It was like a 2-year stint for me. I messed up my neck and then I stopped. I still have my gloves and I still have like all my gear and whatnot, but I don't.
So I have, I would say about like 15 years of martial arts training under my belt. I've done a bunch of different styles, but the most recent one that I did was Jeet Kune Do. Okay. Which is essentially MMA. Really, it's it was a fighting style developed by Bruce Lee. Okay. And it adopts elements from Wing Chun, Jiu Jitsu, and Judo. And ultimately, it is MMA. It is a mixed martial art. Yeah. Right. And I did it for a while. I love it. I love martial arts, but I also used to do free running. Okay. And I did a stunt where I ended up fracturing both of my heels. And also simultaneously had a fever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was in a cast with a fever. Yeah. Having a grand time. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, I don't think I can, I don't think I can participate right now. Right. So I was off for like a month or whatever. And by the time that I felt up to being back at the dojo or whatever, I just like didn't have the energy for it. Yeah. And I dropped out of it. I revisited karate again for a little bit, but I fell out of martial arts. And I don't know. I think if I hadn't messed up my back like 3 years ago, 4, I guess, almost 4 years ago, I would definitely be in martial arts again, because I think, and this is for anyone who has children. This is parents only. Parents only.
Parents only section.
Parents only section. Put your kids in martial arts. Put your kids in martial
Teach your
arts.
kids how to defend themselves.
Teach your kids not only how to defend themselves, but it also teaches them discipline.
Yep.
Like you'd think, like, oh man, they're just fighting, but
No,
there's like
rules.
there's a lot of rules. It's a very strict regimen of things that they need to do. They learn to work out.
Yep.
They learn to be disciplined, determined. I have a. Oh wow! Should I reference a Taekwondo
Let's
patch?
see it.
Hang on.
I think while you're pulling that up, the discipline thing for me came from ROTC when I was younger.
Okay, that's fair.
I did that for almost 5 years.
Check out this bad boy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that all of those elements.
Integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit, and courtesy. Interesting. Courtesy is it fits, but it's not something that I would think of in like. But yeah, it 100% fits.
There's definitely a strong element of
close up on that. There we go.
Yeah, there's definitely a strong element of respect involved in martial arts. I think that it's a really strong like mechanism for kids. Like, you know, they learn to fight and all that, and it's just like they have an outlet for that sort of rambunctiousness that children have,
but they learn to control it.
Exactly.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like you meet some people in their adult lives who are just, they have such a quick fuse, and it's just like, buddy, like you understand what that means. Like I think for those people, it's one of two things: either A, they've never been in an actual fight,
right?
Especially not against someone who has the capacity to actually kick their ass. I think that's, it boils down to that. There's a lot of people that I've met throughout my jobs that like they just have these really quick fuses. I'm like, I and multiple people could snap so many bones in your body. Like, I don't understand why you're this aggressive towards.
Why are you trying me?
Like, what are you?
Why
doing?
are you trying me?
But like, that's also. I'll roll back to the whole men and women thing, because this has also been a question that I've had in my head, and I think it's a good thing that this is changing, but it's definitely still around. But yeah, I think it's either A, that, or B, it's the other thing where they've just been really lucky that everyone that they've fought or had an altercation with, they've just been the bigger person, the bigger, stronger person. And so if they've only known that, oh, when I get aggressive, I get what I want, that works. And they keep applying that until it doesn't. The inverse of that is, well, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think you're about to say something. So the thought I was going to tell you, to bring it back to men and women, I had this conversation with, I actually don't think I've talked about this on the podcast yet. So you've seen, like, it's a stereotype, but I've also seen it happen in real life where women, or some women, I'm not trying to generalize here, but there's some women that will like get very aggressive with men or with other women, sometimes at the detriment of their partner. Where like you've seen the classic, like, drunk guy like hits on a girl at a bar, girl gets aggressive with the guy, and then when things are getting escalated to a physical thing, she's like, boyfriend, I choose you, get in there.
Summons
yeah. I wonder if the trope of like the whole Spider-Man thing with great power comes great responsibility, that seems like such a masculine story, like something that's been taught to boys, that doesn't translate between genders. Have you, like, is that something like, so like what I'm getting at is like, there's not a story like that I feel like is told to women at a young age that they grow up with. So like you end up having some girls that like will get really aggressive with guys. Like, I don't know if you've seen that video of the girl that's like in this dude's face, and then like throws a beer on him or something like that. And guy, this is bad. This is don't do this. Don't do this. But it was funny. He gives her the big old Street Fighter sweep, like just takes her feet from under her, falls down, and then it's just like, well, you were slapping at him and you threw a thing at him. If it was a guy, if it was two guys, yeah, like the common escalation is like, oh, they're about to fight. Like, but I don't think that translate the same, because guys have always been told like you can't hit women. You can't like you that is the line you don't cross as a guy. Okay, that's a lot. So
I have an opinion on this, but I think you may require assistance. Hang on.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Just give me 1 second.
All right. Okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a little supplement from over here. Here you go, Chief.
It's time. We're good. There we go. There it is.
All right. So I would hit a woman
I too,
because
if the situation causes it.
Because ultimately, gender does not matter. I weigh 125 pounds. It doesn't fucking matter. Women that are 5 inches shorter than me weigh more than me. It doesn't fucking matter. And if you want to argue like, oh, a woman is like inherently weaker than a man, then fuck you. You're being sexist.
Weird taste. Not bad, but weird.
Did you put Jack Daniels in your tea?
Yeah, I did. Well, so like this thing's super weird. It's like a energy tea, basically.
So you have
yeah. This is
so
not.
You have energy, tea, and alcohol. We're vibing.
We're there.
All right. Yeah. So I would hit a woman. Because ultimately sex doesn't matter. You know. I do understand like the whole like respect women, like the whole like chivalrous aspect of it, but I think at the end of the day, you should respect anyone. You should respect everyone.
Yes.
And that whole ideology of like don't hit a woman should apply to don't hit anyone.
Don't hit people. Like,
don't hit people.
Yeah.
Don't hit people. Don't hit people. However, if there is a scenario or like a justified situation where you feel that your only option is to engage in physical like combat, gender shouldn't matter.
Sure.
It really shouldn't. I don't think that.
I think
it's relevant.
I say weight, but when I say weight, I mean like physical prowess should matter. And I think that rolls back to what you were talking about with martial arts and what it teaches you. Because something you'll notice in MMA is when the ref says stop, they stop. Like, also, a lot of times when somebody has somebody in, say, like an armbar or like a Kimura, if they tap, it's done. Unless they're just an asshole. There's nothing you can do about assholes. They exist. But like,
louder for those in the back. There's nothing you can do.
They exist.
Assholes are there.
But
you can do about it.
But like people, what I'm getting at is like in a physical altercation, even with me and like another guy, my goal is not to kill this person. Like, unless they've killed my family or something like that, then sorry, buddy.
You're singing red, and you're like,
we're doing the whole alternate universe Batman thing. We're killing everybody. But
Flashpoint Batman.
Yes, well, where it was, what is his name? His dad.
Dad, yeah. I don't know.
I don't remember his name.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that guy.
Thomas.
Thomas. You're right. Yeah,
he's got 2 guns.
Yeah. Beep 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 beep.
Fuck Yo-Yo. That character sucked.
Yo-Yo?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
It's supposed to be like an alternate universe Harley Quinn.
I don't like that.
She sucked.
Yeah, I would imagine it's pretty garbage. But no, I think there's a physical prowess thing. It's not just about men and women. It's about like, okay, I'm 180, 190. If some dude that's like 120, 130 who's coming up to me and is like, I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm just like, buddy, like, it's like I'm not gonna kill this person. It's like, okay, I just want you to chill out and calm down. I'm probably gonna like choke you out or something. Like, it's not. That's the thing that I think that everyone can benefit from martial arts, because imagine someone who doesn't have that kind of like, who's not on that who's not disciplined to that degree. They might kill that guy. Like, they might just genuinely not know when to stop, or like when, like, it's like, or they may accidentally like hurt this person, like severely hurt this person. It's just like that's not the goal here. It's just to end the altercation. That's it. You want to, I forget what the term is that we used to use, but it's assess, neutralize. Yeah, you want to neutralize the situation. So I don't know. I agree with you. There is something, though, I will say, that's in the back of my head that's like, I will take a lot more. It takes a lot more for a woman to get to a point where like I'm physically aggressive with them. Like it's like you really have to like present yourself as a threat to me for me to have to do that. Like
so and the point that I'm trying to make, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I think that mentality where you kind of like give a woman more opportunities. I think that should just apply to everyone. I think you should just try to be more understanding and try to diffuse a situation verbally before resorting to like a physical altercation. And I think, and this goes back to the first thing we're talking about. I think there's a lot of intention versus influence. I think that someone who wants to fight people, someone who is just looking for trouble, will find it. And I think that sort of discipline that comes with knowing how to fight is definitely applicable. And I think that presented with a scenario where someone is like being aggressive in any way, if it can be diffused verbally, it should be.
Ideally, like
always. Violence should never be the first option. I'll say that until the end of time. Granted, I have killed a lot of police officers on GTA.
I love the pause. Don't like the clip.
Don't let that. Don't let that influence. My view on violence. Violence is great. I think violence is fantastic. I think it's super awesome. But there's a time and place for everything. And I don't think that anyone should resort to violence as a first response. And I don't think that gender has anything to do with it. I think that everything can be talked out as long as both parties are willing. However, Samuel Adams, alcohol will get you there. And, any impairment of judgment, be it inherent or granted by alcohol or otherwise, changes the situation. But
that's part of the reason I don't drink that often. Is like I don't like for any of my. I don't like for my judgment or senses to be impaired. That being said, psychedelics are great, but I'm not. It's weird, like because it's almost like an intentional thing when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, well, I know, like, if I have these shrooms or whatever, or like I eat these brownies or whatever, like I'm intentionally putting myself in this state, and I like once you're experienced enough, like you go, hey, I'm going to be in this way for X amount of time. It's going to be cool because I wanted to do that. But there's something about alcohol for me that's like, we're all socially doing it and we don't all know how everyone's going to react to it. And people are weird. And so there's no structure. It's just like a bar to me is just chaos. I hate bars. I'm not a fan of them.
So, okay. So I have an opinion on this as well. So for me, there's like a pretty strong disparity between club and bar. The club scene.
Sure. You're right.
In my opinion,
clubs are chaos.
Club scene.
That's fair.
Agreed. 100% chaos. People just pack in. Everybody's sweating, flailing around. Everybody's dancing. we're going off, and everybody's sweating. People are going crazy. But in a bar, everybody's just like depressed. Yeah. Everybody's just sitting at the bar, just like another. And it's just a hard day at work. You go to the bar, it's quiet. You got some music playing. Maybe some people are playing pool. Who knows?
Those are the bars.
Bars okay. Club, people are just freaking the fuck out.
I can't do that. I've done that. To be fair, I have not given clubs the college try. I will say I've definitely gone to my fair share. I've probably been to like 4 in total. One of them was great. One of them was it's like a bar club thing at the bottom, and then on the second floor was like a strip club. Well, you had to have seen this place. It's like in downtown Orlando, where it's, I don't know what the name of it is, but like I think it closed now, but up top were just like stripper poles, like, and anyone could just hop on them and like have fun with them. Like,
Did you?
I did not. The girl I was seeing did. It was great. It was awesome.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, I've never done that. I would imagine I'd be okay at it because I have a decent amount of upper body strength, but like, yeah, like I don't know, like, but that there was that one. Then there was another one we went to that same night, also downtown Orlando. Then I went to one while I was in South Carolina, so only 3. So I've not gone to that many, but the club itself has never been an experience for me. I'm like, that was cool. I enjoyed doing that. I'm happy I spent the X amount of dollars I did to go and do this. Like, this was great. It's usually me leaving there and be like, what? I just got robbed. Like, they just took money from me for nothing. Like, I hate this.
Oh my god! I remember I went to a free show at a club downtown called Celine, which is a person. First of all, why would you name a club after a person? It's weird. But so I go in there, and immediately my first thought is, wow, this is definitely run by the mafia. There's a bunch of girls just walking around in like monokinis. I don't know, whatever. And I was like, all right, well, clearly I need to be inebriated to enjoy this. So let's go. So I go up to the bar, and I ordered, I think it was like a Busch.
Yeah.
Just a beer.
Yeah.
$12.
Actual criminal behavior. Actual theft.
I'd rather be tortured.
Yeah, like, it's just actual.
It's fucked up.
Oh, man. That being said, there is something cool about the social water hole kind of thing of it. Like,
Sure.
It can be a place to meet people. Whether or not they're good quality people, you'll find out. It'll be different for everybody. But like, it's just, I don't know. I'm about to be 30. That's not for me anymore. That's like, it's just, I'm sure at some point I'll end up there. Now that I've said that, and it'll probably happen soon because that's just how my life works. But I'm definitely not seeking out like, hey man, let's go downtown. Let's go see some let's go to the bar, or let's go to the fucking club.
Well, Joe, I have 2 questions for you.
What's up?
So the first one is, where's the bathroom?
It's right there.
And the second one is, could you monologue while I'm in the bathroom?
Sure.
Let's do that.
All right, cool. He has returned.
This bathroom break was sponsored by none other than Sam Adams.
Thank you, Mr. President. Anyways, yeah.
Oh, I should probably change the camera. There we go. No, it's not on me anymore.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You have an impeccable physique. So maybe you should focus the camera on you.
I don't know about that.
Just a fucking.
You ever get those things on Facebook where it's like, hey, remember this picture of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. that is.
Were you a fat kid?
Oh no.
No.
Well, that's not true. I was pretty chubby when I was like little kid to like middle school. Then I hit that growth spurt, and at the same time I played football, was on the marching band, I was in weightlifting, and I was the captain of our golf team at the same time. I ran track too, so like
track's good.
Yeah, so like it was just like at that moment I was like, oh, okay, I have an actual body now. And then did mixed martial arts, and then after I stopped doing that, I didn't really have anything else physical, so I still lift weights, but that's basically, I lift weights and I run. Like, I'll go running around the block every now and then, but that's it. So my physique has deteriorated, I guess, over time.
Completely related. I got nothing left.
I've seen this before. I love this tattoo.
This tattoo?
That is the dopest tattoo I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, like the Pokemon.
Yeah, so
I don't know what it says.
So it's unknowns.
Yeah.
And it starts right here.
Okay.
But it spells out the Mewtwo quote from the first movie.
Oh, that's super dope, dude.
Yeah, so it's the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
I really like that. I like that a lot more
which
now.
I think is fantastic.
Yeah,
I think it's a great message for children, and it's it's a little dated, but
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think
I think that is a statement that is universally applied.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a little old, but fuck it.
It's fine.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, I actually cannot relate in any way. Like, people are just like, yeah, I was fat, and then I grew up, and then I had a growth spurt, and then I worked out, and I was like, when I was 11 years old, I was 5'7". and I was like, holy shit, I'm tall. And then everybody caught up to me.
Like,
and
can you guys chill out? Like,
yeah, I was like, hang on. And then people, I got like 6 foot, 6'3" friends. I'm like, what the fuck? It's bullshit. But so no, I've had the build of an OBT crackhead since I was 11. And I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it because my metabolism is insane.
Yeah.
I can eat a whole box of donuts and a case of beer and
Yeah.
lose 3 pounds. It's amazing.
That's how old are you, if you don't mind?
I'm 25.
25. Okay. Yeah, like it's weird too. I don't think this will happen for you because everybody's body's different. But I remember when I was roughly around that age, I was like, dude, this is fucking dope. I had the same thing as you. I could just do whatever I want. This is insane. Not realizing that it wasn't that I could just do whatever I wanted. It was the fact that I was still doing like literally every like 3 days a week. I was in the dojo like training. Like I'd be running, lifting weights. Like it was just like, oh. And then when I stopped doing all of those things, I was like, oh, it wasn't that I could do everything, anything that I wanted. It was that I was doing whatever I wanted, but also supplementing that with like actual exercise.
Yeah,
So,
no, I don't.
I can't do that now. My metabolism sucks.
It's crazy though, because like I got a Planet Fitness membership as like a New Year's resolution or something, you know, as one does.
Dude, they must make so much money. It's absurd.
Honestly, it's fun. I like working out. Yeah. It's almost nostalgic.
A little bit.
Yeah,
It reminds me of high school.
Yeah, I'm just like yeah.
Yeah.
And I was in the gym and I was like, this is cool, this is great, but I don't find the time for it. And we talked about making time earlier, but it's just like, you know, you say make time, you and it's a great theoretical. It's a great like idea. It's like, oh, I'll make time for this, but the reality is like there's always a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's always a lot going on.
Time is not infinite. You
can't make time.
You're not making time. You're replacing something else.
You have to trade one thing out for another. And
that I think is a very important lesson that people probably should learn.
And unfortunately, some people are trading out playing video games for shooting actual people, and that's crazy.
I don't think you understand how much fun video games are.
That's insane. Why would you do such a thing? Guns are expensive. Just buy a game.
That is, when you were saying that earlier, it reminded me. I was like, that's something that no one ever brings up when they talk about gun debates and whatnot. It's like, they're not cheap. Like, it's not like you don't just magically go and be like, hey, I got $2.
That's what I'm saying.
Get like
yeah, like you have to go out of your way.
Yeah,
to make this happen.
I think I talked about this a little bit. Jesus, like 10 episodes ago, where I was like, the only reason I don't own a gun is because up until making this kind of thing, there's not really anything that I have. I think I kind of put a value on like myself and like all the equipment and whatnot I have. But like if somebody were to break in and they took my SLR, I'd be upset. But I'm not trying to like that's not why I would want a gun. I would want a gun to protect like myself, my brother, like something like the people that I care about. Like that's why I would want a weapon. But the only reason I hadn't purchased one up until, well, I still haven't purchased one, but I think I'm in the point now where I'd be fine to. But there's definitely like a mental thing about it too. I've been like, I don't want to say I have depression or anything like that, but there's definitely moments where like really down. Like,
I was thinking
like,
about, and that's why
the only reason I don't want one.
That's
like,
why I don't own the gun. Yeah, like that's why I don't own the gun, because I don't want to have that option.
Yeah, I don't want that option. I think I'd be fine now. I probably should start looking into that because I've seen some crazy stuff happen in Florida, and I'd like to be able to protect myself and others.
I've seen your complex.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, you'll see mine.
Yeah, I think I've been to yours, unless you moved out of there.
Regency Oaks.
Yeah. Remember we were going to do the Starfinder thing, and
then
we just didn't.
Yeah. We did Starfinder for like 2 days, and it was like,
But you actually had some friends of mine that lived there before you lived there, so I've been there before. We'll say though, place is looking better. It seems like they're trying to. They're doing a better job than this place.
So for whatever fucking reason, there's like a squad of children that are walking around.
Hate that.
With, I didn't even say what they were doing.
Just
yet.
Children.
That's that's understandable. That's actually completely justified. And they're setting off fireworks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they put firecrackers in our gutter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And they're just setting off fireworks every single day, and it stresses out the animals. Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's annoying.
I mean,
probably stresses you out a little bit.
So I'm accustomed to loud noises and chaotic elements, but for children to have the audacity to stuff firecrackers into our gutter, set them off, and then run, not a fan.
Oh, man.
Not a fucking fan. And I've told them to stop, and they've been like alerted by like our maintenance and all that shit. And it's just like, what the hell are the parents doing?
Yeah.
And I've had half a mind to just follow them home.
But
it's like, what the fuck are you supposed to do about it? You can't touch them. You can't follow them. You can't say anything to them. They're like untouchable. They're indestructible. It's fucking bullshit.
That's it's the
ultimate enemy.
That's
That's why they have child soldiers. Quote me on that. That's why Colombia's fucked up. They have child soldiers.
Can you imagine like soldiers just be like, ooh, so he's 12, so I can't.
That's what I'm saying.
Like.
Literally, that's it. That's it. You think it's a joke, but that's real.
Yeah,
that's real.
That's
real.
Sad.
It's fucked up, but it's real, and that's why I'm here.
So
that's why I'm here.
This is my turn. I have to use the bathroom really bad.
Yeah, go off.
This is the first time. I really, part of me wants to see if I can do like just hold it, because I have not done this. And you're 16. You're the 16th episode. In 15 episodes, I've never had to take a bathroom break.
Wow. Well, I guess this is it. Is it my turn to monologue? I'll just say some shit.
It's not that bad yet. Actually, I should probably just go. I'm just gonna
go.
Number 16. Number 16 was it. You seen it here. I'm gonna blame this.
Yeah, that's God, probably my fault.
Nah, it's all good.
So, anyways, the 3 R's are reduce, reuse, recycle. It's important that you acknowledge all of them, because when you want to save the planet and stop us from progressing global warming to a point where the Earth is literally on fire, you want to reduce things. So, for example, when I go to Walmart, I have the option to take a bag, but I choose not to. I will have all of my groceries in the cart. I'll push them to my car, and I'll load them out. Yeah, I have to show my receipt. I have to stop for a second, and the guy checks things, but it's worth it because I spare a bag. And then, in the scenario where I have to use a bag, I choose to reuse it. I'll set it in a small trash can. I'll have it in my room. I'll fill it with whatever garbage is in the trash can, and then I'll toss it. But at least I'm reusing the bag. And then, recycling is equally important, and it's really the one that people focus on the most. But I think all 3 super important. Recycling is exceptionally easy. You can just set up any bin, any container in your household, and fill it with cans, plastics, paper. The only thing that matters is that you separate them and you recycle them appropriately. In my case, in my household, we recycle all cans, and we drink a fuck ton of beer. As you can see, this is my natural state.
I was getting worried for a second. I was just like, that is 4 bottles. You gonna be okay? He'll be fine. It's just like,
I do this every day. So basically the takeaway here is if you can recycle cans, if you can take the pop tabs off and donate them to Boy Scouts so they can send them to Ronald McDonald House and help out the children, very good, very cool. If you can't, for whatever reason, reconsider your life.
Yeah. I've just turned to I have like some bottled water stuff, and I'll usually buy that for like whenever there's like a hurricane that's coming through. I'm like, okay, well, I need to have water.
Yeah.
So I'll stock up on that. But outside of that, just like don't
that
like
and like a pure filter or something.
yeah, we have one of those. Yeah, like it's like you can just do that. You don't need to. That being said, if you are gonna buy bottled water, Fiji makes the best bottled water.
Yeah, Fiji, for whatever reason, like
I don't know.
Water's water, but like
That's the weird. I've had people tell me that, and I've had people just be like,
Fiji slaps.
"I can't believe you drink Aquafina, you disgusting animal."
Okay,
and
wait,
I'm just
hang on.
like,
Okay, so objectively,
tier list of water.
Whatever the tier list is, Dasani's at the bottom.
Oh,
Whatever the tier list is,
see,
Dasani's at the
we're gonna
bottom.
disagree here. I don't think Dasani's at the bottom. I don't think it's good. I put Zephyr Hills at the bottom.
What?
I hate Zephyr Hills. It tastes salty. I don't like salty water. There's something about it. It's super mineral rich, which probably means it's way better for you.
It is.
But
that's the whole point. That's the entire point.
It tastes like somebody literally took one of those old school, like, you know, those cylinder salt things where you pop the top, and it took one of those and just went
ham. Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's I don't know if Zephyr Hills is at the bottom for me because I'll still drink it, but like, you know what? Nestle bottled water is at the bottom for me. That thing is garbage. That's actual trash.
I'll say this on record. Fuck Nestle. Fuck Nestle for a lot of reasons. Fuck Nestle for a lot of reasons. But if we just want to stick to the whole water tasting thing, Nestle water's garbage.
So
not a fan.
So your tier list, you have Dasani at the bottom. Who's number one?
Number one?
For me, it's Fiji.
Liquid Death.
What the hell is that?
So, do you want to pull it up?
Yeah.
You want to go for that?
Liquid Death.
Yeah.
Is it Liquid Death water?
So this now we're sponsored by Liquid Death. Incredible, incredible. So Liquid Death is like,
oh boy.
I'm sure you've seen it before.
I have seen this before.
Yeah,
I forgot about it until Liquid Death mountain water.
All right, I have
holy shit. This
broken my carabiner. It's fine.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's a little expensive, but however, you can sign a contract where you sell your soul for a case of water, which is pretty fucking dope in my opinion. You're just like, yeah, whatever, you can have my soul, you can have fucking water. Liquid Death is,
dude, the 12 pack's $26.
It's pretty good.
One's $30. That's crazy.
So we haven't talked about this at all, but I have like 1,000,001 tour stories.
Yeah, go for it. So I didn't talk about it at all. Flip is a musician. Just putting that out there.
I've made music before, and I'll do it again.
I wanted, at some point, I was thinking about either having both you and Josh on, or you and Tyler on, or like
Josh Evans.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Yeah, I love that dude.
I fucking
Miss
love
you,
Josh
boy.
Evans. It's my boy. Yeah. The fuck. Yeah, I was So, we're real quick with the Liquid Death thing. So I played at a bar in San Diego, California, called Brick by Brick, which is owned by a famous metalcore band called As I Lay Dying, and this is not expected to be common knowledge by anyone.
Okay,
but that, it's fine. They're like
normies.
For the normies, As I Lay Dying is a band of the metalcore genre, and they are also religious. It's like a Christ-based like lyrical formula.
My buddy told me about that.
Yeah, and also the vocalist tried to kill his fucking wife.
Okay, all right. You know what? You might know a friend of mine.
I fucked up.
Oh no! Hold on. You want to grab this guy instead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very wet. It's fine. This can all go in the video.
Yeah. I'm not cutting this out. You kidding me?
This is quality.
This is good content.
Yeah. This is good content. This is sponsored by Samuel Adams. If you put it on the table, it will erupt. Apparently. So yeah. So I played in this bar
Mhm.
in San Diego, and it was sponsored by Liquid Death. For anyone who doesn't know, Liquid Death is canned water, which is
Yes,
just like
yeah.
fucking insanity. But like, it's canned water. It's like natural like mountain spring water, and it's great. And this isn't a Liquid Death commercial, but I wanted to point out that I went to a bar where they were running commercials on all of the TVs for water. And that's just insane to me. That's insane. Like, why would a bar that's trying to sell alcohol run commercials for water?
They don't want you guys to die. They won't.
It's called Liquid Death. It's called Liquid Death. What do you mean?
I'm trying to find this band that my friend was in. That you probably do. You know this gentleman right here?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Man, I'm not. He probably doesn't have this information on here. If he did, it'd be nice, but he does not. That's fine. He was a bassist.
Was a bassist.
God, I wish I could find the name of his band. Screw it. I'm about to give up here. Yeah, it's gone. It's unfortunate. I wish I could find it, but
It'd be that way.
it's a great. They had a couple of music videos that they made. One of them is awesome. I met him through GameStop, by the way. He was my assistant manager for a minute, and then I became an assistant manager, and he went to a different store. But he was a part of my first foray into YouTube. He was one of the people that helped me out with it. But it's great because I remember him being dressed up as like this little monk, like in the video. He's got this little brown robe on, and they end up crucifying some guy. It's great, good video. I wish I could find the name of the band. I don't think they play together anymore, but I don't know. Empyrean, that's what it's called. That's the name of the band. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Can't say I have.
No bells.
Imperium. Not at all.
There
will be blood. There will be metal. There will be ellipses. Cotton candy.
Thanks, Rick. We appreciate it.
I'm sold. What the fuck?
Great guy. I wish he would come back. Hey, you know what? I might be able to get him on one of these. It'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be cool to just do like a whole.
What do you, a music thing?
Yeah, like a music thing. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, let's do that.
I own a guitar. I have a Squire in my room. I do not know how to play guitar.
If you want lessons, I got you.
Okay. Yeah. I've purchased Rocksmith many
If
times.
if
on learning.
anyone wants guitar lessons, it's really easy. I got you. Hit me up.
Okay. All right. I've had that thing since I was 17, and I've carried it around with me everywhere I've moved, and with the full intention of like, I'm going to teach myself to play guitar. I'm just going to.
Sure.
I bought this game. Cost me $60. They said that if I played it, I'd know how to play guitar. after I was done with it.
Rocksmith?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have it. I was like, I'll sit down and learn how to play it. And then just over the years, we've never done it. 13 years later, just not happening.
If I'll be honest, Rocksmith is it's good.
Okay,
It's a good supplement.
Okay.
However, I personally am a self-taught guitarist. I literally picked up a guitar and just started playing it. I just kind of figured it out. And I think that it's just a matter of determination. I think it's just a matter of wanting to be able to play it.
Yeah.
It's not so much gated by your ability to do so. No one is inherently good at guitar. No one is born with a guitar, except maybe Canadians.
Yeah.
Canadians are very good at technical death metal. It's actually kind of
weird.
It's actually kind of overwhelming. They're all really fucking good, and I have joked about them being born with guitars before. But for us Americans,
us normal people.
yeah. I think
it's completely possible for anyone to learn an instrument.
Hmm.
I think it's just a matter of like having the perseverance to endure the training, the practice.
The annoying sounds of not being able to play a guitar.
Yeah,
because that's for me, that was
just
the
do it a
hardest
million
thing.
times.
Yeah, it's like the trash sounds that are coming out of my guitar right now, knowing that is being caused by me and annoying myself. Like, it's just kind of like, all right, what if I didn't do this right now? But yeah, no, I've always wanted to do. I was in music since I was very young. Like,
Do you sing?
I did a little bit of singing growing up. And then I also so my family's or my parents, I should say, are very religious. So I did a lot of like singing when it came to like church and whatnot.
I was in Catholic school for 12 years.
There we go.
I was in the choir.
Yeah.
So,
And then I played like the trombone in school.
brass is good.
Yeah. What sucks is I wish I'd played literally anything else. Anything that was in treble. I wish I did that because I think I would have had an easier time transitioning to the guitar, because it just like everything else is in treble, nothing else is in bass, and for whatever reason that makes reading music, like sheet music, so much harder for me if something's in treble. Like I don't know, it's weird.
I understand.
I don't know. I like music. I think the fact that I have not sold that guitar is there's something in the back of my head that's like, you should probably like learn how to play it. Like, if you're not gonna get rid of this thing, you obviously still want to use it.
You have like a moral commitment. to it.
Yeah. So yeah, I might take you up on that.
Yeah,
I want to sit down and learn how to play that thing. There's an eyelash in my eye right now and it's killing me. Okay,
That's okay.
It's still there. Okay, we're gone now.
Sponsored by Samuel Adams. Eyelash in your eye,
dude. I
cannot
do? Wait to get my first sponsor for this podcast, because it's gonna be weird. I don't think that's happening anytime soon, but all right, we're losing this. But I can't wait for it to happen. It's weird too, thinking about like
we're going glasses off.
I need my glasses. I can't see otherwise.
Yeah,
but,
I'm blind as fuck. But
it's weird to. I try my best not to think about that kind of stuff though, like the business side of this, because that's, I think, the mistake I made the first time around on YouTube, was I was so concerned about the business side of things, and it became not fun anymore. And then stopped doing it.
So hang on. So consider this. You know, Joe Rogan is a human. First of all, second of all, an MMA human. Third of all, he just smokes people out.
Yeah.
That's just what he does. That's it. And that's the entire dynamic of the podcast.
Yeah.
He just says things and people are like, yeah. And that's it. And that's it. And so you're like, you're 2 out of 3 there.
Yeah.
You're human, you've done MMA, and if you just smoke people out,
easy,
you're there. You're basically
I gotta shave my hair. I gotta shave.
You're basically off. If I can say this, you are the African American Joe Rogan. You can get there.
I feel like we have done Joe Rogan a huge disservice somehow.
That's fine. I'm no Elon Musk.
Yeah. Dude, I love the internet for that week. It was so good.
It was insane.
All the
People were like, holy, oh my god. Like, Elon Musk smoked a fucking what?
When he didn't really even smoke it, like
he was just like
people were like,
it's just the only thing that mattered was the screen cap. I'm going,
yeah.
And that's all that mattered.
That's a perfect impression.
That's it.
Oh god. I need a Jamie though. That's where I'm at right now. I don't mind doing this right here, like swapping the cameras and everything. But in an ideal world, we wouldn't need a keyboard and mouse out here, because we'd have a Jamie. They'd be like, "Yo, Jamie, can you pull that up for me?" And then they pull it up for me, and I'd be like, "Ah, thanks."
I think Kim could do that.
So initially that was the plan, but he works like the third shift at a hotel. So in order for him to do this at like 5, he would have to be awake at 5 to do it, and then go to work 8 hours, and then come home. So not fair for him. So there's people who have said, "Oh yeah, I'd do that for you, no problem," and then not shown up. So this is not bad. This sounds like me complaining, but I'm not complaining. This
I'll
is okay.
do that for you, no problem.
I'll do no problem. No.
And I will show up.
I would appreciate that. Yeah, it's. I also think about it too from my perspective. If I was in there doing this, I might. I knowing me and how my brain works, I'd get really bored. Like listening to other people have a conversation and not be a part of it. What I may do is have some setup where this is not actually connected to the computer. Maybe have that third person like right here, kind of like how it's literally how Joe Rogan has it. Dude sitting literally right under the camera that they have for the wide shot, so that person can be a part of it too. Like that's what I think is the best way to go about doing it. But that's future Joe worries about that. Current Joe right now is just enjoying a good conversation. So I like it. This is fun.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if we've exhausted everything. I actually don't know how long we've been recording too.
I have no idea, but should I continue drinking beer?
Probably a bad idea. I think we should probably get to some closing point at this point, because we've probably been over 2 hours. Yeah, we're definitely over 2 hours. It's 8:19.
I can talk forever.
I don't mind talking forever, but I also am trying my best. So I did one with Leia.
Oh yeah,
that lasted 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do that again. It was a great conversation. That's the reason why it went so long. She's a very interesting person. I like her a lot, but the thought process from a viewer, no one's going to sit down and watch a video that's 5 hours long. Nobody's going to watch a video that's close to 3 hours long. So like, I have to try to be mindful of that too. I'm like, all right, well,
yeah,
maybe 2 hours is the cap.
There's definitely a lot that you can cut out here.
Oh yeah. But then, so that's the weird thing. I don't like doing that because I want this to be organic. I want people to see an unedited, like I think I'm always going to cut out the bathroom breaks. Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
So hang on. I also like it to be organic. Mm-hmm. I want it to be completely raw, very real, and that's why I said when I went to the bathroom, I was like monologue.
Yeah,
right? Because I wanted to just roll. However, have you considered having separate episodes with the same person?
Yes, that's what I did for Leia's. I cut it up into 2 episodes that were both 2.5 hour long. Yeah, it's fucking wild. But yeah, the other thing I would like to do is I like having people come back. I'm gonna have Mark do that for the first time because he was the second guest I had on. So it's kind of cool to see how much has changed for him in that time frame, and how much has changed for me in that time frame. And I think it would be cool to do the same thing with you. Like episodes, come back, like drink more beer, have more time.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know. Have Jack Daniels. Did you know? I don't think we. Well, I do have you on Facebook. Did you know did you see how I got this follow? It's just a normal bottle of Jack Daniels, but it was pretty interesting. We had like a white elephant thing like at Christmas time, and I was like, I to a certain degree purposely don't. I'm not a very open person, I guess, when it comes to work. When I'm at work, I joke around, I have a good time. Like I make sure people are happy. For the people that I manage, I guess. I have such a weird position at that company.
So do I.
Yeah, it's just like, well, okay.
I just do everything.
You just tell me what to do. But I try to make sure everybody has a good time. But I also am not like very open about like what I like and stuff. Like, I guess that's just not. I'll talk about video games all the time, but it was weird coming to a time where everybody was like, hey, let's buy presents for each other. I was like, you have no idea what I want. There's no way you know what I want. Like, because I don't talk about that. And time for everybody to give everybody presents. I received this from one person, and I received 2 cases of White Claw from the other person. I was like, I'm still excited about having both of these things. But it was very funny in my head. I was just like, they're going to get me alcohol. That's what's going to happen. But it's just funny.
So, I have like a really close knit group of like 11 friends, which seems like a lot.
but it's ultimately evolved into like a family, essentially.
Yeah.
Of my choosing, which is cool.
Yeah. Dope. That's what you want.
And for my Secret Santa, we exchanged presents between the 11 of us. And for my Secret Santa, I received the piercings that I'm currently wearing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But it was only after the person that had me assigned to them as Secret Santa had exhausted all options and realized that the only way that they could give me something is if they asked me what I wanted. And then we went to the mall together to Hot Topic of all fucking places. That's great. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll go for that.
You're like, perfect.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I was like, that's fine. And it worked out.
I'm not. But, I hate getting presents, by the way.
But it's crazy because and let the camera show, let the video show. So, yeah, this is recorded. I received probably $30 worth of merchandise, give or take, maybe 40. The person that I did Secret Santa for received $5.
Oh no!
Technically, it was a Canadian flag. So I actually built up to this present.
Okay.
So I got my roommate Josh, who I definitely want you to have on your podcast. I'm gonna send him your way. I'll come back to that side note, but Josh, he is Canadian, and he does smoke the marijuana.
Okay.
And he has the Canadian maple leaf on his wrist as a tattoo. And for about a year, I made the joke, haha, he's a stoner. You know, he's got the pot leaf on his wrist as a tattoo, you know? Yeah. And I built up to it. And then Christmas of last year, I gave him a flag that was the Canadian flag, and instead of the maple leaf, it was a pot leaf, and he lost his fucking mind. He lost his fucking mind. It was only $5, but he lost his fucking mind.
That's a great gift, though. Like, there's like there's like a story behind it.
It was kind of like intimate, sort of. And I gave it to him. We hung it up on the ceiling.
That's dope.
And it's great. But so Josh Evans, who you worked with, was actually in a band that he started with Josh Rogers, who was my roommate.
Why do I feel like I've met this person?
So Josh Evans was the guitarist, and Josh Rogers, my roommate, it was the drummer and also the vocalist.
Oh wow! What?
And yeah, he did both.
Interesting.
Which is super challenging.
Yeah, but, I would imagine. That's insane.
Yeah. Fortunately, now the band has advanced. Josh Evans is no longer a part of the band, but
I think he's doing his own stuff.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing. Yeah, and Josh Rogers, my roommate, is now just the vocalist. They have a drummer, they have bassist, guitar. Band's doing great, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, that guy's a character.
Yeah.
Josh Rogers is a fucking character. And I'm gonna send him your way.
Yeah, for sure.
He definitely has a lot of opinions. He definitely is in tune with the same type of mentality that we are, and he's experienced a lot of the same things that we have. He's played competitive Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. That's
cool.
You know, he's frequented cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Same vibe.
I don't ever want to say that I ever played Yu-Gi-Oh competitively. I've judged Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, fuck the fuck.
Like I have like one YCS top 8. That's it. Okay. That's all I've ever done.
All right. It's time for me to pop. It's time for me to pop off. So, all right. My greatest achievement in life.
No. Let's hear it.
Unfortunately, is the fact that I got a Yu-Gi-Oh card banned.
What?
I got a Yu-Gi-Oh card banned. Wow, it's my mom again.
You should definitely answer that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. So I got a Yu-Gi-Oh card banned, and it was 2010. Okay. It was like September of 2010.
Okay.
This was when Subtoad was still legal.
Okay.
And
Everybody's going to credit Melina for this, but continue.
Whatever. Fuck Melina. you know Cupcake?
Yeah.
So back in like 2000, like late 2009, I was playing in like South Kissimmee, like on Violin 192, Coliseum of Comics.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like entering tournaments and stuff like that, and I ended up running into Cupcake, and we ended up talking, stuff like that. I was like, I like frogs, X, Y, and Z, whatever. And he was like, okay. And we ended up working on a deck together that was a frog FTK. First turn kill for the normies. And basically what it boiled down to was just like, I would say infinite loop, but like a 22 count loop. Yeah. Basically, like, you know, it was Mass Driver. You had your Substitute. Right. You would kill all the frogs and then loop the Ronin Totem. You'd suck it with Mass Driver. Basically, you'd kill somebody in one turn.
Yeah.
You know? And it got to the point where I could just reveal my hand.
Like, I have the combo.
I have the combo, and people would scoop.
Yeah.
Because back then, there was nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, like they had Valor.
They had Valor.
That was it.
They had DD Crow. No, actually, they didn't have Valor.
Valor was not.
They didn't have Valor in 2009.
They just had Crow.
They had DD Crow, and they had what the fuck was it called? It was a DD card. It was a trap card, and you could call an attribute and select a target of that attribute and banish it. And so you would say like water and get rid of Ronin Totem.
Oh, it was a monster.
No, it was a trap card. Yeah. It was DD. I don't want to say it wasn't Fissure. It was like DD. Rupture. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Point is, I played that deck a bit. I played a couple tournaments. I went undefeated because it was just a bunch of FDKs, and I was like, wow, this is really fucking boring. So I went on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia, and I was like looking around, and nobody had posted that deck before. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, shit, okay, frogs are cool. Why don't we'll just
post this here,
share this with the universe? So I did, naturally, and I posted the entire combo, and later that year, it was piloted by another person in Worlds and went undefeated in Worlds.
He's like, oh, dope. This is cool.
Wow. Yeah. And it, you know, it was piloted in Worlds, and he went undefeated. He won Worlds, and then like, I think less than a month later,
they're like,
yeah, they had like an emergency ban list. They were like, Substitute,
get that thing out of here.
Get that shit out of here. And then like 3 years later, they also got rid of Mass Driver. So that combo is very, very, very illegal.
Yeah, it's funny because I was literally watching a video not that long ago because I get bored sometimes, and I'll have something playing while I'm playing Apex, and it was like top 10 cards that like were obviously needed to be banned, and Mass Driver was on that list. Yeah, like, it was just like
honestly,
anything that could just like
I think at this point, Substitute could be errata to be once per turn. It'll be fine.
Like they've ruined all the other erratas.
Yeah, I
think some of those erratas are too much. Like
Sangan.
Sangan's ridiculous. That card, it's fine. It's fine. Konami. It's fine. Just bring it back to normal. Like that. All right, now I'm heated. Sangan needs to go back to the way it was. The only errata that I think it needed to be errata, but what they did to it is too much. Is Disc Commander. I get why they needed to do it. Just make it once per turn. It doesn't need to be.
The draw was too strong.
The draw was insane. That's fine. Like I get that. But don't make it so that I can't get it out of the graveyard the same turn. Just let me get one +1 profit off of it, and then make it a once per turn thing. Easy. That's how you fix that card.
So it's what, once per duel?
It's once per duel, and you can't do it the turn it was sent to the grave.
So which is
it doesn't exist now. It's not a card. It's trash.
It's nothing.
Literally fire kindling. Then there's Chaos Emperor. They ruined that guy. It's just like every really cool card that was yes, I'll agree they were overpowered. They made it so underpowered that it's not even playable
So
anymore.
the reason that Chaos Emperor was a big deal was because of Yatagarasu, and now neither of those cards are
Irrelevant,
even
like-
remotely relevant. You play. I'm telling you right now, it's the year 2020. It is the year of our Lord 2020, and I swear to God, if you play a Chaos Emperor and it doesn't get negated the second that you play it,
Your opponent's just like,
that's insane.
yeah.
Like there is so much monster negation in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's absurd.
It is.
It's almost unreasonable how much there is.
I would love to do an episode that's just like Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk.
Yeah,
and
let's
see
do
how many people are genuinely interested
Yeah.
in like the card game still now.
Yeah.
Because I stopped playing for a long time. I stopped playing right after Dragon Rulers was a thing, and then I was like,
Me too.
I was like, I'm good. I'm out. Like,
I ran a title deck for a while. It was like frogs, Atlanteans,
they were
and
so fun.
the nimble.
Yeah,
outfit,
yeah.
Just the water
They-
monsters.
I think one of those things got limited.
Yeah, I was running the Lemuria field spell, and I would use it to run level 5 or rank 5 and 6 Xyz. And I don't know if you remember, but Dig Vorzak was a card. It was a rank 5 Xyz. It required 3 materials, and it was like 3,200 attack. When you attacked, it would mill the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. And I think, if I remember correctly, it was like if it's a monster, you deal that much damage to your opponent. Yeah, it was insane. But that card was tournament only. So like I was playing online because I'm broke, and you know. And that card was tournament only, and it was running for like $600.
Jesus.
When it was like a TP card.
Yeah.
And now they reprinted it as like a $2 card. Not a big deal.
It's like
nobody cares anymore.
no one makes any.
Yeah.
Xyz monsters don't exist. Like,
talk about like Blood Mephis, like.
I think, you know what? I'm gonna wait until April 1st kicks around. Then I'll do the episode. I want to see if people like, oh my god, I can play all my stuff again.
Yeah, that's good. Yo, if you do a Yu-Gi-Oh episode,
have your boy. Well,
I'm
you
there
do that.
for it.
I want to get like, I'll have by you.
You just have like a panel.
Yeah, just like have a
pack it in.
Zombie Chris. Probably
yeah.
funny. Jesus. He'd probably love doing that. That'd be hilarious.
Holy shit. Tour guide.
That's a good
At
Zombie
3.
Chris impression. Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah.
I it's weird too, like realizing how long I've known that guy.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, oh yeah, he was 12 at one point.
Yeah, I remember when he was not jacked.
Yeah. Like
Which is
riding his bike
crazy.
everywhere.
Yeah. I remember when he wasn't like peak human, you know?
It's funny, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a good closing point though.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll for sure do this again, 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know if do you have anything you want to shout out or anything like that, or I was just
all right. So naturally, being a band guy, I have to plug
do it.
my bands, right?
Do it.
Yeah. So I'm a vocalist in 2 metal bands. If you happen to be into metal, I'm the vocalist for A Feasting Beast and The Witching Hour. It's all on
I've
Spotify.
heard of The Witching Hour.
Have you heard The Witching Hour?
I have. I wonder who told me about it.
It was probably Josh Evans,
It
because he was
might be.
also in that band maybe 5 years ago. But he was in that band. He played guitar for it for a while.
I think it was Josh. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I do. I yell professionally.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good way to
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you really sit down, you do a lot of like self-reflection, you think about your life a lot, and in my case, I realized that for whatever fucking reason, people pay me to yell at them. Like, so I toured the entirety of the United States. I went from Florida to California.
That's dope.
To Canada, back down to Florida. You know what I mean? Like to Ohio. Fuck Ohio, first of all.
Going there
Second of all,
next week.
yeah.
I'm not happy about it. It's for
it's not great. It's not great. But yeah, no, like I was all over the place, and I realized people were giving me money, like buying shirts and shit, because I yelled at them.
They love it.
And yeah, they love it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
They eat it up.
They eat it up. Yes, more. Yell at me more. And it's crazy because like you really boil it down to like the human aspect, and it's like it's just yelling. It's just yelling. And I'm on stage. I flail around a little bit. I do a little bit of stand up, and I do some yelling, and they're just like, "Here's your money," and I'm like, "Holy fuck!"
It's good, man.
It's crazy.
Like that's part of I won't say part of why, but I had one experience where I've talked about this many times on the podcast, but one experience where someone recognized me at a gaming convention in Orlando for my old podcast, and I don't think I'll ever forget that. But also, it was two parts. It was one, I was like, oh, okay, this is what it feels like when people are like really famous, but times a million. And then the other thing was like, I don't know if I want that. But have you had anything like that?
I've had a couple of people recognize me.
That's cool.
Interestingly enough, on Tinder mostly.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's probably for the better.
Maybe.
I
don't know. But yeah, it's worked out.
That's good.
It's been cool.
That's good, man. Well, check out this gentleman's bands.
Yeah, I do some yelling.
He does some yelling, some good yelling. Thank you again. Appreciate you. We'll definitely do this again.
It's been a pleasure.
It has definitely been a pleasure. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.